Yeah. We back with another episode of the Trakwolf Godcast.
Sir.
I'm your boy TrakBeatz. We got my motherfucking brother Cheno Bliss in the building with us as always, you know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all tap in the Vinegar Hill, you know what I'm saying? They got a lot of dope content, a lot of dope work up there, you know what I'm saying? Stay in tune, we always got it down below, you know what I'm saying? But on that note, we about to tap into our first subject of the day is, you know what I'm saying? What you got for us, brother, man?
Well, I was wondering, what made you think of attention as the topic? Attention.
Yes. So, I guess when I think of attention, I think of like the new quote-unquote currency, even though it's technically the old form because that comes first energetically. You know what I'm saying? So we just gonna get that right off the top.
Are you referring to the quarters specifically? Is that what you're referring to? Because when you say current currency, you're talking about physical money?
Yeah, physical money.
Because it's funny that you say that, because this morning I was looking at the quarters, and the 2021 quarter was the Tuskegee Airmen.
For real.
And then the 2020 quarter was the two bats. And we had...
Yeah.
So it's just funny, because that caught my attention this morning.
Yeah, attention is the new currency. Yes, the money has to flow, but attention, wherever you putting your attention at. So y'all think about it, if we didn't put our attention to the money and we just did hand-to-hand trades or barter or however we do things, you know what I'm saying, that would minimize the damn money flow, you know what I'm saying? Or if we got tired of watching bad shit or seeing in the way shit on the TV or on fucking social medias, you know what I'm saying, don't give it no attention.
You want to know what's interesting? When you're saying this, my mind, like I have epiphanies, like I have like a photogenic mind, or like I just see visions, and it's just like the way that they're sculpting the world now is they're trying to take away a lot of those services and like trade and barters and make it solely about money and exchange of currency.
Yeah, fuck that. You still do what you gotta do in between the lines, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if we get back to that, that's gonna get us back to being more organic. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I say, okay, damn, I'm tired of watching fight videos, or I'm tired of seeing them, I don't have to watch them. I don't have to click on them. I don't have to do any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So if everybody thought that way, then obviously, if they post it, it's not going to get no views. Or it's only going to get the paid views that they paid for it. You know what I'm saying? But it's not getting any attention. So it's not going to spin the world. It's not going to be trending unless they force it on the trend. Because it is people in power that can do what the fuck they want to do. You know what I'm saying? But that's as far as like a basic form is like how I feel about attention. How would you
when you
go about it?
As you're sitting here giving your perception, it makes me think of attention always being the form of currency, but there used to be more obvious ways that they can direct people's attention. Whether it be the news, whether it be radio, propagandas like, you know, the army, supposed to go to school. There were religion. There were easier ways to direct people's attention, and the more we get to this age of information and stuff, people can figure out their own ways, and their own information is harder to direct people's attention and keep their attention. Yeah. So that's why attention, as you're talking to me, in my mind, became so valuable, because it's so hard to keep.
It is, and then if you keep it, it's almost like you have to be either really superficial or really organic. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like, the organic route I feel like lasts longer, but in this world, superficial lasts long too. Because we see a lot of superficial shit that lasts a long time. Now that I think about it, if we can go to the celebrities or Hollywood, or it's a lot of superficial shit that lasts a long time.
Yeah. I mean,
it's weird now that I'm sitting here saying this shit.
I mean, it takes a certain type of person to continuously do superficial shit for so long. Even when I was younger, I would do superficial things until I realized how superficial they were. And then I was like, this has no substance. I'm doing pretty much nothing. You get what I mean?
But we still got our attention. It still has our attention. So it's like, it's tricky. But the way it's set up out here now is, you know what I'm saying, you got a choice of what you can watch and tune into. You know what I'm saying? So whether they trying to force this shit on you or not, you don't have to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that also comes with people getting more comfortable in their own space. You know what I'm saying? So once you become comfortable in your own space, you're going to be more aware of what you're putting your attention on. Because then you're going to be more mindful of what you are giving your energy to. You know what I'm saying? And what is taking your energy.
Yeah.
So then you killing like 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 birds at one time. You know what I'm saying? Literally. Like, why is my attention here? Okay, when my attention is there, then that means that my attention isn't over here. Okay, so damn, when I got my attention, it's draining me. It's taking some of my energy, or I'm giving it a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? So then I don't have enough energy over here to do this, what I need to do, or what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Or if I got to give my kids or somebody or family member some energy, you know what I'm saying? Like, any of it.
Yeah, man. When you brought it up as a topic, and then, you know, I was just like, yo, like, you know, it's funny, and I brought in the currency part, and it kind of correlated into attention is the currency. Like, it is, and it is a fine line you got to dance, because the aware crowd is growing, and it is bigger, but it's so much smaller than the unaware crowd.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't have to, but it's easier to tap into the bigger unaware crowd to get to the aware crowd. You know what I mean?
But it's always, it's one of them things to where it's like, yeah, they got numbers, but the organic crowd is just so much stronger. You know what I'm saying? It's like a 1 on 10 is easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it feels, because you just believe in yourself, and then you run into people who believe in themselves, and then it's like building a stronger aura energy field. You know what I'm saying?
It's even when you say that, it's just like someone who believes in themselves opposed to someone who may not. It may take X amount of themselves to equate to one of these people who do believe in themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get you.
And then that comes with paying attention, where they putting their attention in. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like a prime example would be like, I had to cut off a lot of bullshit shows and dumbass YouTube videos I used to watch, and I started watching and tuning into other shit and researching other shit. You know what I'm saying? Just tapping in to different shit, but I had to remove the other shit, so that way, even if my thought process tried to back cycle, I didn't watch so much different shit that it's recycling all this new shit that I just put in there. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's from a month ago or fucking 6 months, 9 months to a year ago. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta start that space from somewhere. That's what I be getting to. Like, if you giving your attention to something that's not healthy for you, just make sure you got a limit on it. You know what I'm saying?
What are some ways you became aware that you were giving your attention to things that you may not have been aware of, or you wanted to replace?
Yeah, I think once I start doing the music, for real. Once I start doing the music, cause then I had something I could tap into and I could do, and it didn't require me to go through the system. You know what I'm saying? Like, my spirit just don't give a fuck about the system. Like, it does not give 2 fucks about the system. Like, as soon as I was able to tap into something else that was more productive, that I could actually do and feel and believe in myself doing, and I could do the research and learn some shit and then apply it, that changed everything. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's not nobody forcing me to learn. I'm doing this at my own free will. I'm researching, learning, and I'm applying it. And it's working. You know what I'm saying? So once I saw that happening with the music, it's like, why not just try this with some real life shit?
Even when you say the word research, like, it sounds like such a big task, but you're really just looking up and for information. Like, in my mind, when I hear research, it's just like, damn, I gotta research before I do this. It's just like, bro, look for some information that applies to maybe some things that you're worried about, maybe some things that you don't know, maybe some things that you should know, some things you need to have. You know what I mean? Like, some just anything in relation to it. That's what research is. And it's not really that big a task.
Asking questions. That's how I do it. You know what I'm saying? Any question I got in the spirit world that I, wasn't sure of when I was little, I would just ask it. I would type it in and look it up. You know what I'm saying? That's how it started. Just thinking of shit that didn't make sense to me and then typing it in and then seeing what I can come up with. You know what I'm saying? Or how this information hit me. Because you can tell some stuff is tricky, but you can, you got to go with what hits your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Everything starts from inward outward. So people say, oh, that's bullshit you learn. You can sift through the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? If you're in tune with yourself, you going to already know.
That's an important part of research, is what hits your spirit when you're looking. Because that's what applies to you, for your experience.
Yeah. Like Ayo Kaseko is somebody he listens to. He enjoy watching him, you know what I'm saying? Salute to Ayo, he put in a lot of work. But I'm somebody who tunes into Young Pharaoh, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what helped me in my process as well too, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but they both good brothers, they both in tune, they both sharp, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Pharaoh too, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out Pharaoh.
But yeah, once you start realizing where your attention is going to, that's on a physical level of saying, okay, where is my energy going? Why do I feel drained, you know what I'm saying? Or why do I feel full of life, you know what I'm saying? Some people you go around and they fucking just give off so much energy, you know what I'm saying? You feel uplifted.
And also, you also realize what you have to offer at that time.
Yeah.
Like the energies or, services, it's all energy. Whatever you do, whatever you say, it's all energy and vibration, whatever you have to offer. So you start to become aware of that too, because some people just don't know what they have to offer. Even it's like some people who make music, they just like, yo, I just make music, I just rap. Like, nah, yo, you inspire some people, you know what I mean? Like, you give some people perspective, you know what I mean? Like, you motivate some people. It's much more than just making songs. Even if your songs is just about being in the hood or hustling or something like that, you know what I mean? You still do those things.
Even when I hear those songs, like, when I feel like it's coming from an organic space, it still hits my spirit because I still understand and comprehend, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to indulge in all the time, but if it's some organic shit and it hits, then that shit the fuck what it is, you know what I'm saying? But if somebody not living it, then that's completely different, but that's a whole nother subject, you know what I'm saying? But that comes with paying attention to the shit you listening to as well, you know what I'm saying?
What are some things that you feel like most people or all people should be paying attention to?
Self.
Yeah.
Self. Because everything we do is about choices. We have choices. You can take it as a right or wrong, but in the universe world, there is no right or wrong. It's just this choice or that choice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in some people's eyes, in their perspective, it may be wrong, but in your world and in your perspective, it's different. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we got to get out of, is thinking that because they set this shit as, okay, this is what the fuck it is, and that's what it is. That's not.
Yeah, man. And I think it's Ilan, whatever, Fix My Life. That lady, like, she was talking to this family, and she was talking about.
Where you meet her at? Who is she?
She got the show. I think her name is like Iyanla. It's this older black lady. It's the Fix My Life lady.
She on YouTube or Facebook?
She got a TV show and stuff.
Oh
yeah,
shit.
yeah. Like she be helped doing stuff with celebrities and stuff. But she had this and like regular people. But she had this segment where she was talking to this family and she was just explaining to them like, you only invested this much into this person, so that's the amount that you can get from them. Like, and that's what, when you were saying about yourself, paying attention to yourself, you have to invest in yourself. That's investing attention, seeing where you need to work on yourself, where you need to improve yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and sometimes paying attention to other people can help sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And don't shy away from, like, only sharing your ups with people, you know what I'm saying? Just because you know people gonna pay attention to that, you know what I'm saying? You a whole human at the same time, as well as the soul, and possess the energy and everything as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the more you in tune with yourself and you look at your own actions for everything you do, everything that happens in your life, look at what you did that led up to it. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you don't like, you look at what you did that led up to it. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad choice. It's just you made a different choice. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I be liking to emphasize as well too. You know what I'm saying? Because we always got this weird perception that everything is bad or good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a whole gray area to life. I know we don't discuss it much. We just do the yin and yang. You know what I'm saying? But it is a whole gray area as well.
Yeah, that's what black and white makes.
Yeah.
It's funny because that's kind of the concept of yin and yang too. That's not really like, it's not put into that picture or that image well. But yeah, black and white
that should
makes
be,
that
that's
gray
supposed
area.
to be the light in the middle, really.
Yes.
You think about it, that little crease in the middle
is the gray area.
That's supposed to be the gray area. Yes, it's thin, but it's there. So that's the shit we gotta pay attention to and be mindful of. But on that note, we're gonna slide to this break and we're gonna cut back to y'all. Yeah. So we back from the break, you know what I'm saying? So what we're about to get into now is the gray area. You know what I'm saying? So we was just kind of mentioning a little bit before about the black and white, you know what I'm saying? The yes or no's, you know what I'm saying? But we got a whole in-between area of life that don't get discussed much, where a lot of friction get created at, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed. Look, that's the black and white. We got the gray area right there. We stay in balance and in sync over here.
Yeah, you see how it works. Thinking that, that's crazy. Yeah, so, how do you feel about the gray areas in life? Like, just the concept in general?
You know what, bro? I feel like I'm like a personification of the gray area. I feel like I'm that anomaly that looks a certain way, but you can't really put your finger on it. But I'm not the gray area in sentiment. So like the gray area is like when you see something and you just like, yo, that don't really look like that, but it feel like that. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure it's that, but it doesn't appear to be, or maybe the opposite. It appears to be this way, but it don't really feel like that. I need to see if this is black or white. Because right now it's gray. And I need to see where both of us stand on this, because I'm not sure. You know what I mean?
So how do you distinguish the gray areas for you when you're in a situation?
At first, when I was younger, I couldn't. And I think that's why I jumped into the perspective of trying to see things through everybody's shoes. Because I couldn't understand why people did shit the way they did it, or why people acted the way they acted.
That's a good thing to be able to put yourself in people's shoes.
Yeah.
But you also have to be able to see you too at the same time. But
and then you get to the point where you realize you can never see from their perspective truly, because you're looking at their perspective from your perspective. You know what I mean? So even the gray area to me is just like, I'm looking at this and I'm trying to figure out what's more than likely really going on. Because I know within this gray area, I'm comfortable within this stuff that's not clear to you, but I don't know how comfortable you are in the shit that's not clear to me.
Yeah. So
you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the way I handle that is, it's on a percentage scale. It's just like I check it, or I address it, or I ask them about it. I conversate with them, and I fill out the response. I fill out their words. I fill out their demeanor and their body language. And I'm just like, more than likely, this is what's going on. Because if I had to get to the point where I had to question this intently, then I can't trust your words for face value on this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's a really good perspective. I think it also gets tricky sometimes too with gray areas, because it's like we have a close relationship, so our gray areas, we willing to dive a little bit deeper on our own situations and put it out there to each other. But as far as like people that aren't as close to me or as close to you, we're not gonna dive that deep personally to give you that kind of information while we in this space. You know what I'm saying? So it's like trying to be direct is possible, is the best way to kind of clear your space a little bit when you in situations like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, that's literally with somebody close to you, you should be trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, us clear the space, you know what I'm saying? So not like leave it sitting out there for the world, you know what I'm saying? Just up for the taking, or to just fly around and do what it gotta do.
So, like, what do you do in situations where you feel like you may notice something in a gray area with somebody? Maybe you notice they might feel a certain type of way, and you try to address it, but they're not, maybe they don't notice it, or they're not upfront about it, but you can feel it. How do you deal with situations like that?
If I have gray areas like that, then because of my experiences in life, I disattach my feelings and get straight to the logic. And then depending on their responses, depending on how I'm going to handle whatever the situation is afterwards, for my, you know, my best being and my health, you know what I'm saying, depending on whatever the situation is.
Yeah, because the gray areas are almost always situational. They're always situational.
Yeah.
It's not black or white. You're just like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah. And what's crazy is, now that we doing it, it's almost like the gray areas is something, as far as dealing with humans, something that's not being explained or understood, you know what I'm saying, or as far as outside of humans, something that just could be a little confusing or not understood.
And I also want to point out something that can build from not addressing gray areas is resentment.
Yes.
Because you feel like you deserve something, or you feel like something should be a certain way, and you don't address it, or it's not addressed properly, it's not handled properly. Once it is addressed over time, and you start to build up this emotional, internal, whatever, energy, and it just comes out at some point.
Yeah. So it's a tricky process, but it's like, it all comes back down to being self-aware, to being able to recognize it, you know what I'm saying, and why am I confused, or why is this going on? You in the gray area, bitch. That's where you at. You gotta get the fuck about the gray area, you know what I'm saying? You should only be in the gray areas if you understand what's going on, you know what I'm saying? The gray area should be of understanding, but to a lot of people it's confusion.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then you have to be more direct. But if you understand the gray areas, you know what I'm saying, on higher frequency, then it's not going to be as much chaos.
What are some ways that, and also, resentment breeds anger. Resentment breeds jealousy. It breeds a lot of different emotions. Like, what are some ways that you deal with resentments that you may have? Because I know me personally, I grew up not having my father around to the last couple of years of my life. I grew up when my mother was young, and she couldn't really provide as much as she could and have the knowledge or the wherewithal to do it. So I had resentments myself, like, that I had to work through. Like, what's some ways that you deal with some resentments that you may have, or some angers that you may have?
I don't have resentment. Yeah, I do get frustrated and, you know, angry occasionally, but I don't have no resentment. Like, if I have a gray area, or when I had gray areas, like, say somebody close to me, like a parent or somebody, like, there was a lot of frustration in the conversation because I didn't want to be in the gray area. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't want to be in the gray area and you want to be in the gray area, then it's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I'm just not going to hang out in the gray area. So I don't really hold any resentment. You know what I'm saying? It was more so of me just wanting to get out the gray area. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to have these conversations so I can, you know, even though you're not around people physically, energetically, you're still connected to people. You know what I'm saying? You still think about them. Their energy still moves and teleports and do all that shit with you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they always say breakups isn't just physical. You know what I'm saying? So all of this shit, you know what I'm saying, we got to get in tune with. And if you're not in tune with, then you got to start getting more in tune with. So, like, my sperm donor, like, I used to be frustrated younger until I got a chance to address the situation when I got older. You know what I'm saying? When I finally did run into him. And then it wasn't resentment, it's just I got a chance to get out the gray area. You know what I'm saying? Like, same thing with my mom's. Like, you try to be in that gray area space, but it's uncomfortable for some people. You know what I'm saying? For me, I like to be sure. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in the gray area. I know what the gray area is like because I was basically raised in the gray area. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Nah, I feel that. Yeah, and like I tell Trak, a lot of the times with a lot of situations, like a lot of my knowledge comes from self. Like I'm like a trial and error. I put my head down, I get through situations, and I look up and I'm like, oh, I did it, how I do it. So like a lot of times when he says things, it places like words and sentiment on like things that I've experienced, and I'm just like, oh yeah, nah, I feel you, man. Yeah, that was a great way to put it into words. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, what happens is we all gonna eventually, if you doing the work, get to that space to where you're gonna feel that way so much that it's gonna become easier for you to express it. You know what I'm saying? I just happen to be in this space long enough so it's easier for me to express it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a tough space before, but it's just something you got build through and work through. You know what I'm saying? We was discussing
and like when you say you got to a space where you can like build on that, what was the space you were in before compared to the space you got to?
What you mean?
Like when you was living in the, you said we grew up in the gray area. We lived in the gray area.
Yeah.
And I suppose living in that space and being in that space put you in a space once you got out of that space and you had to develop to get to where you wanted to be personally.
Yeah, I think my mom always wanted to keep me in the gray space, to be honest. Like, I was that one that was always the outspoken child, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was the scapegoat, like the black sheep, whatever the you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so my spirit never naturally set well in the gray area anyway. So if it didn't sit well in the household, it wasn't going to sit well with the system, you know what I'm saying? I just had to figure out a way to mature into my own comfortable space, you know what I'm saying? So I had to, if I'm going to be in this gray area space with the system, then the least I can do is try to do a better job at controlling not controlling my environment, but being more in control of my environment. You know what I'm saying? Like, not controlling the people, but I pick where I want to live, you know what I'm saying? I chose that location, you know what I'm saying? Some people can't choose their locations, but, I mean, you can manifest what you want to, so I take that back. You can live wherever the fuck you want to live.
Yeah. But some people don't have the wherewithal or the ability to do it.
You just gotta know how to be mindful when you manifest and that kind of stuff, that you minimalize it and you're not trying to manifest something extreme.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you need a space, don't be like, oh, I just really want this fucking 3-bedroom. Nah, bitch, to say I want a space. You settle for that 1-bedroom. That shit yours, and then you branch out from there. Like.
Yeah.
But if you shooting too high and then nothing happens, then you're gonna be a little hurt. You know what I'm saying? So that's when you gotta be a little bit more realistic with what you try and manifest as well.
Yeah, man. Growing up in that gray area was very, cause you're right. Like, I was outspoken too. Like, I was just like, well, ain't it supposed to be this way? Cause it's the way people do it in front of people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but when you by yourself, when I see you off to the side, you doing it another way, then it's like, be quiet. It's like, oh, be quiet for what? You was just doing this out in the open, then you get in trouble. You like, that's the gray area for me. That's why I started to lie. I was like, why am I getting in trouble for? They say tell the truth, but I can only tell the truth in certain situations. So you start digging through. And that's why I started to live there, because, like you said, life, the household, the world, it was all gray area when it was obviously a certain type of way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Yeah, once I got to that gray area space over there, I was able to create my own space, you know.
And a lot of people don't call it a gray area. They say that in between shit.
Yeah.
They say that funny shit.
Yeah.
They say you dancing.
Yeah.
They say you ain't being straightforward. They say a bunch of shit like that. So you gotta really be aware of what they mean when they saying that. It's the gray area. They saying you're not being clear. You're not being black or you're not being white.
Yeah.
You gotta pick a side.
Yeah. Dance around, man. Done with that shit.
Yeah, I'm not a good dancer. I don't
Oh
dance
shit! Yeah, and I do not like those gray areas. Gray areas to me is like quicksand. That's what that shit feels like, a gray area. You know what I'm saying? Like, only time I like being in gray areas is if I'm like spiritually wanting to be in a gray area to figure out how to get to whatever space I'm trying to get to. Like, I'm just using the gray area to travel through. Other than that, there's no hangout area, you know what I'm saying? Get some clarity, get some motherfucking clarity, you know what I'm saying? As hard as that shit is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta fight those feelings, you know what I'm saying? You ain't no pussy for, you know what I'm saying, sitting through a conversation. You ain't no bitch for sitting through a conversation, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody gotta stop being so defensive all the time, putting their guard up, you know what I'm saying? Like, if this person gonna sit through and hear what the fuck you got to say, then you should sit through and hear what the fuck this person got to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, and try to pay attention as much as you can. It don't matter how angry you are. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they ain't get up and start throwing no blows or swinging or running out, then you sit your ass there and you listen and you do the same thing vice versa. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's so quick to run up and dip because that gray area was like, oh shit, I don't know what to do. Let me get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's literally, it's uncertainty. That's what the gray area is. You're just like, yo, I don't know what's going on, and I usually know what's going on in these situations.
Yeah.
So is this about to be the other situation that never happens? Because I usually know what's going on, and it's usually this. Yeah. That's kind of what the gray area does to the average person.
Yeah. You never gonna know it up is if you never been down, you know what I'm saying? So, and you never gonna know what down is if you ain't never been up. So you gotta be able to experience life with people, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. A short way of putting it, you have to experience and stop running, you know what I'm saying? The gray area could be confusion and scary and chaotic, but you can manage that shit, you know what I'm saying? That shit don't make you no sucker for trying to manage that shit, you know what I'm saying? On any aspect of the table, you know what I'm saying? As long as there ain't nobody trying to bitch you or no shit like that, then that's a little different. That's a little different, you know what I'm saying?
And that's also part of the gray areas, because there is a time, you was talking about the file cabinet, where you just have to do something no matter what is going on. No matter what's going on, no matter if it's white or black, you have to do something. Yeah. Whatever that specific something for the situation is. So
I guess I should be saying, if you're going to be sitting down conversation, fight for the mature conversation. They're fighting to have a mature conversation. You shut your angry ass up and you fight to have a mature conversation. But if they antagonizing and doing all that gray area shit or showing you what side they on, then you gotta make your own decisions.
Yeah, there we go.
You know what I'm saying? But like,
that's very important because somebody can tell you one thing, but if they showing you the side and they're telling you, nah, I'm not on this side, but their actions and their demeanor and their spirit and energy is showing you what side they on. Come on, man. You know, you already know what it is. You just know what it is, you know.
State too, you know what I'm saying? That's why we always push it's so important to know self. You know what I'm saying? So then you know which times it's okay if the gray areas is a little bit confusing. You just figure out how to address it, and then you know which ones to get the fuck away from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I run in the gray areas, I wanna figure out which side is it gonna be on? You know what I'm saying? I just want a solution. So for me, that's how I want to carry gray areas. You know what I'm saying? I feel like as long as it's in a mature manner and you trying to, and both parties is trying to like move in the righteous direction, then you should do it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You should do it.
Yeah. Well worded.
You should do it. Because I know some shit isn't worth sitting through. You know what I'm saying? Some people will still antagonize you and dance around while you trying to get out the gray areas. And then that's when it's important to know yourself, because now you got to figure out how long you want to sit in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Do you want to keep dancing and trying to force your opinion or your answers on somebody? You know what I'm saying? You can't make nobody do nothing. So, but you can make your own self shut the fuck up, or you can make your own self leave, or you can do something else. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your situation is, but the shit is on you.
Yeah, man. For me, in situations like that, I'm already hard on myself. So when someone else is hard on me, it felt like it's double pressure. You know what I'm triple, because it's pressure from society too. Like, it's other pressure. So I was just like, God damn, like I feel like I'm being attacked, and I have to tell myself mentally, the other side of logic is emotion. So that's coming with this logic too. So you got to balance your emotions and deal with this logic that's on the table.
Yeah. And sometimes that requires you to open up your heart chakras. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that requires you to. You know what I'm saying? We got chakras. As soon as I said it, mine started hurting. You know what I'm saying? We have them everywhere.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Ice box where his heart used to be.
Yeah. It was cold as ice.
So cold.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, but that comes from sitting in the gray area, being confused, not knowing, you know what I'm saying? Like, my spirit want to be on this side, but I'm being pulled this way, so literally I'm just in the middle. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm bouncing around like what you want to call it, like a slingshot, or like a wrestler when they're in the rope, hitting the rope. I'm literally flying through the sides like that. Oh, he doing good in school. Oh, that nigga over here stealing shit. Oh, this nigga doing good over here. Oh, this nigga still over here fighting. Oh, this nigga doing good over here.
And even
this nigga still in the way.
Even when we sitting here talking about like situational gray areas, or gray areas like within like interpersonal relationships, it also makes me think about, you know, you got gray areas within yourself where if your mind, body, and spirit aren't in alignment, where you're out of whack. You know, relationships with other people where if your mind, body, and spirit isn't in line with them, or you don't really know where y'all align at, y'all out of whack because of those gray areas. You know what I mean? Where it's differences.
Yep. And you can sum that all up with knowing yourself once again. You know what I'm saying?
And paying attention.
Or them gray areas. Yeah. That was a good way of putting it, because you can be with somebody and still not be in sync. You know what I'm saying? Because you got either your gray areas or their gray areas. Or maybe y'all two just fucking form together for the wrong fucking reasons. I don't know. Yeah. I'm in a gray area right now, so I don't want to dig into it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, just being mindful. You know what I'm saying? You could, like you said, you could be in a great area with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You could be torn between your family and a job, or a relationship and fucking another relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you're in a gray area. You know what I'm saying? So that part of that box for you is always going to be chaotic. Yeah. Because you don't have any certainty over there.
Yeah, man. Dang, man, we be diving deep, man.
I know.
Man, clap it up. I don't pat us and myself on the back enough, man. Come on, man.
Diving deep.
These things are important. These things are very important, man. Like, these things are pretty much the essence of relationships, the essence of how things operate. You know what I mean? And you need to be mindful of these things. It's like the mechanics.
Yeah. With all that dope, we gonna cut to this break and we gonna slide back to y'all. Yeah. So we back from the break, you know what I'm saying? So what we about to get into next is going to correlate with the attention and the gray area and knowing when to
cut it.
Them prices way too high, you need to cut it. Hey. Yes, how to know when to cut it off or to cut it or let it go. You know what I'm saying?
So, do you consider what do you consider taking? What do you gauge taking a break and cutting it off? Do you believe people should take breaks?
When people say break, I be confused. Every time I hear break, my first expression is say, "What the fuck is a break?" What the fuck is a break?
Yeah.
I understand the sentiment of breaks though. Like if you're working too hard and you gotta take a break. Like if you're doing something, you just gotta take a break. But like as far as like taking a break from people, like if it was an intimate situation, I feel like that shit never comes back together. Okay. It usually never does.
Yeah.
But people usually come back and they're usually friends. You know what I'm saying? Like they usually can communicate and still talk and shit.
Yeah, that connection is never really the same after a break.
So that's why, like, outside of like taking a break from like doing something physically or going somewhere spiritually, you know what I'm saying, from someone, like taking a break, I don't believe in that. What the fuck is a break?
You think that's a gray area thing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
You gonna fuck with me and we gonna nah, you fucking disappearing cause you down, I'ma disappear, or you disappear cause I'm down. What the fuck is that?
Okay, so
even if those ain't the situations, but like maybe people wasn't just meshing well or something. You know what I'm saying? That a break, no, that's just separation. That's just separation.
Yeah, and like a person like me, I used to, if I was intimate with somebody, I used to want to talk to them every single day. So like a break to me, in my mind, in my perception, used to be like, oh, you need like a couple days to But like talking to Trak is like, oh, that's nothing. Like, you know what I mean? A couple days, a week, that's not a break. That's just people living life.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my man, I didn't know if something was wrong after 2 days of not talking. My bad. So we gotta get that clear. Like, you gotta, when somebody asks for a break, ask them what they mean by a break and get that clear. Somebody want a couple days, that's not really a break. They just need some space for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, week, it don't even matter. Like, but
if you talking about months, years, or something, give me a couple months and I get back to
I'm gonna get back to you.
Nah, that ain't no break. It's separation. You cutting off. You know what I'm saying? It's like a subtle way of cutting ties. You know what I'm saying? So what we explaining is really right now how other people cut ties. We haven't really gotten to as far how we cut the ties.
Yeah, you know, man, that's an interesting conversation because I was just about to ask, realistically, just how often do you just cut off a situation? Like, how general is that really? Or is it something that's phased out for you?
That's a good one. I guess cutting off would be on a percentage scale with me, because spiritually I could cut somebody off, but if I don't block them and delete and do everything, like, they still have access to me, and if I still communicate, then it's technically not cutting off. That's not being wholehearted to the situation.
We going deep right now.
You know what I'm saying? So it's deep. Like, that's what I say on a percentage scale. So like, I could cut you off spiritually and still hang out with you, or I could cut you off physically, you know what I'm saying, and still deal with your spirit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not in no space, I'm not getting back with my BM, you know what I'm saying? I didn't did it, you know what I'm saying? But like, I cut it off physically, but I still am in communication because I want to, not just because of my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I had to fight that out to be real as possible. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes she reaches out just to talk regularly, you know what I'm saying, or to try to put some kind of influence on me. But I'm working on myself. I know I'm not diving backwards, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, in my world and in my perspective, I feel like she's still weaker and still needs to build herself up to a bigger frequency. I just had to get the fuck away, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't for me to be in that physical space doing that, you know what I'm saying?
When you break down, like, cutting off and on a percentage scale, like, you're right there. I was thinking more so, like,
completely, I know.
Yeah, because when you're like cutting off completely, I'm just like, damn, yo, there really is only a few people that I've completely cut off. They still can, even if I don't respond, they can access me. They can see me. You know what I mean? Like, that's not necessarily cut off.
Yeah.
Well, like, what are some signs or some things that let you know that it may be time, or it's more than likely time to cut off a situation?
I think the first thing I like to do is, if I'm in that space, then I'll have that conversation with my inner self. And then once my inner self confirms it's removed, then it doesn't matter how much physical connection I have with you, whether I'm running into you, whether you're in my space, you know what I'm saying? Like, spiritually, I've already removed myself, you know what I'm saying?
I agree. Like, as you're doing it, like, that is the words and the sentiments of the process that I go through as well. That's exactly how it goes. It's more so a thing where I measure my internal values and principles and my self-worth, and I'm just like, am I getting reciprocated right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I'm not, then I'm just like, spiritually, I'm already gone. You're right. Mentally, you know, you have routines, you have habits. You may even have loyalty. You know what I mean? Like, you have different things. Love, you know what I mean? Respect. Like, you have different things that may mentally keep you there, or you may go around them, or you may have family the same, but spiritually, you just like, nah, man, I can't. You would never go this far for me, so I'm not going this far for you. You know?
Facts. It's easy to run away from people physically, but spiritually, that's kind of the hardest part. Because if you run away, you still... This person is still on your thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Still on your spirit, still attached to your energy. So, you know, it's like, you might as well go ahead and go through the process and deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no point of running from it.
Realistically, how hard is it for you internally to cut off people?
It depends on the level that they're on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, depending on what level you on, depending on how you gonna get cut the fuck off. So,
yeah.
But I know, like, you probably speaking specifically as far as like high level people. It's a longer process. You know what I'm saying? It's something that I have to repeat to myself in my inner space. It's kind of like how music plays on repeat and repetition over and over and over until you learn the words, even if you don't want to hear the damn song, you know what I'm saying? So I do the same thing with that shit, you know what I'm saying? And then just figure out where I'm going to put my energy to away from that space, you know what I'm saying? First I have to confirm it in the inside though, you know what I'm saying? Once it get confirmed, then it's like, alright, now I can start making these other adjustments over here. But I have to repeat the process. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, close people, it could be fucking a couple years. Sometimes it could be a couple months. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a process. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and it depends on the level. And I'm speaking as far as the high levels now. You know, like close people.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. Couple years, couple months. Typically, once I hit that, because you like you said, you hit that internal space already where you like, I'm not even invested anymore. Yeah. I'm just here. So after 2-3 months of that, typically, that's when I'm physically out of it. But spiritually, I'm still there. Yeah. And mentally, I'm getting out of that routine. I've got out of the routine of wanting to be with the person, but the routine of what I used to do every day as a routine for so long, I have to replace those things, you know.
And with us saying this, I don't know if that's the healthiest way. I don't do that right now. I'm not in the, any ships right now as far as like, and I'm getting everything clarified. That's any ship that I'm on or part of. You know what I'm saying? But like, that's just speaking as far as our experience in those relationships, and not saying that that's always the right way or the best way to go about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting to a space to where they should be addressed sooner. You know what I'm saying? Instead of waiting for all these pebbles and stones to add up and to accumulate. You know what I'm saying? Why not just go ahead and start seeing what's up with these little trails now? You know what I'm saying?
I agree. What do you say? Because we're talking about cutting off, like, to the sentiment where, because I'm the type of person, I address pebbles and stones.
Yeah.
Not everybody's comfortable with addressing these pebbles and stones we keep stepping on.
Yeah.
And it gets to that point anyway, like
you said, stepping on, they hurt when you step on.
Yeah, they hurt. They hurt, and that's when you notice them. You be like, damn, it was smooth all the way over there. All these fucking pebbles and stones. Your feet ain't hurt. I'm like, nah, my feet fine. Like,
now you looking down when you walk, right?
And now you're second guessing yourself. You be like, are my feet sensitive? Because they can run. There's some people that can run on rocks. Some people that can run with no shoes on. So you just like, is it just me, or I don't know? But that's the kind of the place it puts you in. But when we're talking about this, and you was just like, I say all that to say, how do you feel about? Because I have a similar process. How do you feel? I think the process is fair. How do you personally feel about it? Because we don't know if it's the right way.
Nah, I feel like the space I'm going into now more comfortably is addressing things sooner, depending on the level that it takes on, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, some small stuff really don't be small stuff. It just be something that you got going on in your own self. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of reflecting it weird. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why I say levels, because I may point a finger and it's really just, maybe I'm just in a rush for something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I really don't need to be in a rush. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be anything. So like, that's why I just like to keep everything on levels. You know what I'm saying? Because it gets, I try to stay away from the gray areas and keep you away from the gray areas. You know what I'm saying? Because that way it keeps your perspective open.
Okay, I agree. And spirituality I consider to be a sentimental gray area, but as far as metaphysical and like energy, I feel like it's a very black and white area. You know what I mean? So like me stepping into my body now more comfortably and being here more, I can see why people want it to be black and white more than gray.
Yeah.
But I embody that perspective personally, and that's also why. And I may have been forced into it, through how I was brought up in society, and fought through it. But at the same time, I would always wonder, like, why do I feel like I think different? Is because this person wanted me to think black, this person wanted me to think white, and I'm just like, hey, neither one of y'all give a fuck about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I just want to think for myself.
I'ma just be here.
You're supposed to just guide me. You're supposed to guide. I know we have these physical connections to people and the items and material things, but like, you have to look at the longevity of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, the longevity of things is your health. You know what I'm saying? So you can accumulate all the wealth, but you can't pay for that health. You know what I'm saying? So why not be mindful of it now? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't just mean food. You know what I'm saying? Other people's energy can make you sick. You know what I'm saying? Being around different other items and materials can make you sick. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you can be aware of this shit and tighten up now and utilize your you want to call it your anger, your frustration, energy another way. You know what I'm saying? Like, that should be like one of the goals to aim for. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know that's what a lot of shit I push for. So that's what, getting back to cutting off, is like addressing the pebbles depending on the situation and you know the person that you're dealing with. 'Cause that's usually what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Material items, it's not gonna leave pebbles. That's straightforward. This shit's working or it's not working. Like, so.
What are some things that you have been thinking about that may help you, or may be better ways to address things more straightforward?
For real, I think a good thing and a bad thing is like watching horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
Subconsciously, you kind of learn to face your fears. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of creating a simulated world where you can get adjusted to experiencing those emotions and feelings. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people stray away because of the physical part of horror movies or whatever, but you know, even if you watch a good movie or a happy movie, it still touches you, your feelings, you know what I'm saying? It still affects you some kind of way. So, for me, you know, it's the yin and the yang. You know, I'm not going to go out putting myself in situations like that when I know that I'm bigger than that and I can create simulations myself. You know what I'm saying? You experience the same emotions watching a movie if you all the way locked in as if you was actually experiencing them.
Yeah, movies and everything that you watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so even when you putting not even all this, like stuff like love and hip hop or like reality TV, social media, those energies that you're watching are transmuting into you, whatever it is that you're looking at. And it's not even really what the picture is a lot of the time. It's the energy behind the picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might look like joy, but it's misery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And it's a weird process. That's why I said, like, I wouldn't tell nobody you have to go watch horror movies or no shit like that. But
yeah.
When I do turn on a movie at the end of the night, 'cause that's really the only time I watch movies. My daytime, it's no movies on. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the night, that's when I turn the movie on. So recently, it hasn't been none of those because, you know, I guess I'm out of that training process right now. But
yeah,
that was the process for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Mom used to have them shits on growing up, so I was already used to watching them already anyways. So instead of me being like, oh, even moms for that shit, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, that shit kind of just prepared me to kind of face my fears. I would sit there and I had the choice to cover my eyes or not cover my eyes, you know what I'm saying?
Perfect word, prepare. How do you prepare yourself to cut somebody off? Or do you prepare yourself to cut somebody off? Is it something that you just do or just happen?
It's something that just happens, but what happens is like once I go through that process, whether it's a couple days, a couple hours, a couple years, a couple months, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? When I get to that point, it's like the universe just lines up a situation where I could just communicate with this person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So then I'm allowed to address whatever I need to address, and then I can take my own response, whether they don't give me any straightforward answers or not. I know going into this, I'm looking at the overall picture, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what about this one, bro? Have you ever felt the cutoff when somebody was giving it? You ever felt that shit? You just like, yo, this feels different. Like, what they saying it like this for? Like, what?
yeah. I done felt the cutoff.
Yeah.
But I'm one of them people that I'm one of them people that I'll fuck myself up in my own situations if people want to call it that, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause I be such a straightforward person, so it's like, I could either be getting ready to get some new pussy, or it be some pussy that I already had, and because I'm such a straightforward person, they would take whatever I'm saying the wrong way. Like, I ain't putting no pressure on that. I just want to keep it a band, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't even matter. Like, even with some of my closest friends and shit, you know what I'm saying? Just some of them are well and aware and know themselves enough, you know what I'm saying, that they don't take it with any ill intentions, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that shit crazy.
Yeah, man. When you get that cutoff, boy,
that
shit hit you. I mean, because for me, I'm gonna tell you how the cutoff hit me. It always hit me spiritually Because mentally and in the body, everything's normal. But it's the way the words hit you, and like your spirit just be like, your spirit just look at the person and be like, what this person say? And then rerun what they said.
Yeah.
And then it rerun it again and it be like, yo, when you hit that point, you know it's some level of the cutoff or the finesse coming through.
When you say that, it reminds me of when you feel that person don't give a fuck.
Yes!
When you feel that they don't give a
like, what
fuck.
The fuck? Who said something like this? Well, you ain't never said this before.
I'm like, damn, yeah, your energy is really showing. You
okay.
You over there doing shit normal, but your vibes feel different. But on that note, we're gonna wrap this thing up. You know what I'm saying? It's been another dope episode of the Trakwolf Godcast. You know what I'm saying? Y'all definitely make sure y'all stay in tune with Vinegar Hill. You know what I'm saying? We still doing, you know what I'm saying, free Ty. You know what I'm saying? Justice for Ty. You know what I'm saying?
Free justice.
Long, hard process. You know what I'm saying? But still work being put in behind that as well, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed.
But on that note, you know what I'm saying? We about to get up out of here. We got Cheno Bliss in the building with us.
Subscribe.
You know what I'm saying? I'm your boy TrakBeatz, and we signing out.